Hello everyone and welcome to Club Reaction to Rangers 0, Genk 1 here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast, to a very disappointing start to Rangers Europa League campaign in more ways than one. My name's Scott Carney, I'm on my own tonight, and yeah, look, tonight I think we all, quite rightly so, based on our previous experiences and our previous runs of games that we've had in this Europa League competition, that we would probably expect to beat Genk. No disrespect to them, but we would. However, this is not a normal Rangers team. This is not the normal things that we always see, or we have been used to seeing even in this competition. This is very much a Russell Martin team, and yeah, tonight it's really disappointing just how poor the night turned out to be. Tonight, I think you have to take it in. Well, I mean, I'm saying I have to take it in before the red and after the red. Neither of them are very good, and I don't think I'm being over the top there. Neither of what we done was very good. We started tonight with Shamiti playing up front, and Mikey Moore continued his run in the team on the right, with Gassama on the left. Everything else probably as you would expect. I don't think there was any great shocks in the rest of the team. Straight off the bat, Shamiti getting a call. I think she's going to need to start a game at some point, but the one that I can't get my head around just now is Mikey Moore. Might be being harsh on the kid, don't get me wrong, but I just don't see how he's a better option than what we have available. I wasn't impressed with him at all tonight. I wasn't impressed with many tonight, but he's one that particularly stood out to me. In the game itself, and yeah, it wasn't a massive attendance. I think it's low in terms of European attendances for us in the Europa League. It was still fuller than I thought it was going to be, I'm not going to lie. The win at the weekend obviously helping that, and we the biggest worry for me right now is we are far too easy to create chances against. I mean, extremely easy. At some points tonight for Genk, it was literally one pass and they were through. It really was. It was with ease that they could just cut Rangers open. And for a team that love to concede chances, Rangers find it incredibly difficult to create any goal scoring opportunities. Honestly, any at all. We really struggle from open play. To create anything. It's a hard watching Rangers. That was more back to the norm as we're used to seeing under Russell Martin. Slow, passive, side to side football with no real idea of where we're going and how we're going to create a chance. It's difficult to watch. It really is hard to watch, and it's not exciting in any way, shape or form. We are, whether it's deliberate, whether it's not deliberate by the manager, but we are stopping our players being creative. We're stopping our creative players being creative, and it just results in this dull, non-penetrative, chance creating football that we were having to watch. We had a few efforts from the kind of the edge of the box. Mikey Moore had a shot that was over the bar. There was a mix up between Mikey Moore and Raskin for a shot as well, and it was scuffed kind of side past the post. And the one effort that we did have that we probably should have scored from was a header from John Suter, but it was cleared off the line, and that one you can put down as being unlucky, but that one came from a set play. Genk should have been ahead, but many times they hit the post, they cut us open so many times, they swadded that diagonal ball over the top, the ball straight into the box, both again centre halves posted missing, they ballooned it over the bar. A team that's in form and firing probably put Rangers to bed quite early tonight, and that's before we even come to the sending off. Rangers are then denied a penalty after James Tavernier wins a header at the back post. It hits the opposing player's arm, and play continues for a little bit after that, after pretty big shouts from the players as well, and then the play stopped. The referee goes to check it, and I have seen it back, and I can't see a push there. I can't understand where a push has came from. He's made that up there. There is no push on it, as far as I'm concerned, from James Tavernier, and we are denied a penalty. That's my personal take on it. Anyway, I think it's a penalty. I do think it's a penalty. We're then witness to just a moment of madness from Diomande. I don't know what he's doing here. I don't know what he's thinking about doing. he lunges in, he goes over the top of the ball, he's not in control when he's going for the ball, and he's sent off. And I think you can tell by the player's reaction in terms of Diamandi's reaction that he knew that he'd been really silly there, and he didn't half put us up against it. A ludicrous decision from Diamandi for me, and another guy for me that again escapes criticism quite a lot, which I can't really understand why. I thought he was awful, honestly, absolutely abysmal in the middle of the park today. He won a couple of passes, he played forward well, but defensively, and he's part of the problem for not being brave enough on the ball in terms of playing forward passes more when he has the ability to do so. Look, whether that's a Russell Martin thing or whether that's a player thing and a confidence in this system, I don't know. It's a bit hard to tell, but it put us right up against it. And yeah, for me, a red card. I've seen that one back, and definitely a red card. Their penalty that they got after James Tavernier brings a player down in the box, as far as I'm aware, I'm taking it from the guys in the group chat that watched it on TV tonight and weren't at the game, that Tav clips his heels and it is rightly a penalty. I can't say for sure. I can't say for sure because I've not seen it back, but I think we all knew when he went over to the monitor there was only one thing he was going to do, and that was award a penalty. But step up Jack Butland with a cracking save to keep us in it, and it gave Ibrox a real lift at that point. And yeah, let's say we make it to half time at nothing each. And yeah, obviously we spoke to the boys in the concourse, and this is a bit where I think Russell Martin was kind of damned if he did and damned if he didn't. The decision to take off Mikey Moore and put Ant-Man on, I actually quite liked, because I thought, well, at least we're not just going to sit and just try and soak up pressure and maybe sneak a draw or sneak a late winner, as everybody else would do. So I don't want to be hypocritical about that decision, because to me I thought I actually quite like that. However, in the same breath, it's going to leave you very vulnerable, and from what we've seen how vulnerable we were in the first half, maybe it wasn't the right decision to do so. But I just didn't fancy sitting watching us try to contain Genk for 45 minutes with maybe Barron coming on or Rothwell coming on and just kind of shutting up shop. So that decision, I thought, right, we'll go with that. However, I was obviously not really justified in being excited about that kind of decision, but I think Ant-Man showed pretty quickly that he is a better option than Mikey Moore. I don't think, again, it was a glowing report from Ant-Man, but I think he just offers more on that right hand side than Mikey Moore does. Our most dangerous player today was definitely Gassama. I think he looked the most dangerous. But again, nothing really came from it, and we do concede. We were just cut open. It's just so easy to cut us open, and especially going down to 10 men and we're still to continue to try and attack and implement what Russell Martin is trying to implement. It was just leaving us far too open, and we were cut open. The boy goes through and he tucks it away. They should have scored just before that as well. They missed an absolute sitter right across the face of the goal. Whether some of these chances may have resulted in being offside, again, they might have been, but they did miss a few, and yeah, they eventually do take the lead with just a kind of played right through us, really. I played right through us, and it's a decent finish. It is a good finish. After that, as I said, Rangers were unlucky with an attempt from Gassama, say, on our left hand side cutting, and it goes just past the post, and nothing was really seeming to drop for us at all. But we, at points, I honestly thought we looked more dangerous with 10 men than we do with 11 on the park, which again is a worrying thing to say. But at some points I thought we actually looked better with 10 on the park than we did 11. But there was another goal for Genk that was ruled off for being offside. Again, initially when I first seen it, I thought that is offside. And obviously stood to be correct, but I did think that it was initially offside. But Rangers kind of huffed, and I wouldn't say really puffed, but there was not really much end to it. Barron was unlucky with a shot, looked like it was going to go in, but the defender got his kind of head to it to stop. And even after all these kind of chances, if you want to call them, from us, none of them were from the keeper making a save, and that, again, that's another worrying stat. There was calls tonight again. The Russell Martin chant did ring out around the stadium tonight at different points, and I think people are just fed up because we kind of know what we are watching here. It's hard watching Rangers. It's hard to be motivated to go to Ibrox just now. A win over Hibs was never going to right the wrongs of everything that we've seen previous, and it wasn't all of a sudden going to buy Russell Martin the faith of the Rangers fans to believe that he is the guy for us. we're still poor. We're honestly very, very poor. We're a very poor footballing team, and unfortunately there's players within that team that I actually think are good players, but we're just not getting the best out of them. It's a real tough watch, and it's a real tough task to go. But going to the first Europa League group stage match, you should have a buzz about you, and the place felt flat. I felt flat. I'll always be honest and say that I felt particularly flat going to Ibrox tonight. I thought, I'm not expecting much here, because again, what I've just said, the win over Hibs doesn't make me buy into what Russell Martin is trying to do. It was something that was a stepping stone that should have been built on. And yes, we went down to 10 men tonight, but even before that, we're not doing nearly enough on the ball. We're not creating even nearly enough to win football matches. Well, we just aren't, domestically or in European competition. It just isn't good enough. It really isn't. Andrew Kavanagh was there tonight, and he's going to have heard the chants. He's going to have seen that performance, and a game that Rangers, on paper, to give us any real chance in this group stage, it's not a banker. You don't really get a banker in Euro competitions, but it's not far off that, I think. Please, by all means, tell me if you think I'm wrong in the comments. It'll be good to get your feedback on it. But it's always just how I take things when I initially leave Ibrox, and tonight was flat, disappointing, poor, and I probably expected it. I'm not going to lie, and I'm not trying to be all kind of taking a high road, if you like, considering as if I know best. I don't. I just felt like we were going to go back the way again, and it seems like we are. It's very much one step forward, two steps back just now, and it's just a poor way to start this campaign. It really is. The crowd, I thought, stayed with the players as much as they could tonight and played with the team as much as they could tonight, and sometimes the ball didn't really fall for us, but ultimately as a footballing team we're extremely poor to watch, and we really struggled to create any sort of chances at all. Very vulnerable at the back, and it's all coming together to result in what we witnessed for the majority of that tonight. Be it 10 men or not, even before the 10 men, don't think there's any doubt that we're just not good enough and we're not creating enough chances to ultimately say we deserve to win football games. So yeah, that's my kind of take on things tonight. If I was to pick a man of the match for Rangers, it's a tough one. Gassama was alright on the left hand side. I thought he was our most dangerous player. Butland for making the penalty save. Shamiti, who I thought had a thankless task up front today, I really do, but I thought he kind of ran his heart out. In the second half he did well to hold the ball up when we kind of changed our approach slightly, but no, I don't think anybody can really say that they deserve a kind of man of the match award tonight. It's an extremely disappointing start to the Europa League campaign, and it is not going to do anything to help attendances going forward. It really isn't, and we are already, we said it previously, if Russell Martin doesn't go on a run of games and a run of games, winning games, then we would be back having exactly the same conversations that we had before the win against Hibs, and ultimately that's kind of where we're at. Livingston's a big game for him on Sunday. If he drops points, it'll become unbearable again. You will not be able to ignore the noise surrounding the future of Russell Martin. So yeah, disappointing night at Ibrox, and yeah, there's not much else that I can give you apart from that. I think I'm going to be back tomorrow. I can't be 100% sure. I'm away tomorrow night, but Wee Ross is the only one that's available tomorrow night as well, so I'm going to try and figure something out, but Club Live might not happen, just for so you all know. If it's not going to happen, I'll put a post up to say it isn't, but I'm going to try my best to make sure that it will. I'll do my best, but not very fair to leave Wee Ross on his own, so I'll do my best to try and figure something out, as I always do. Until then, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all the usual stuff. It's still a feeling of inevitability around all of this, I think, and I think knowing you all the way I do, I think you will probably agree with me. Thank you for listening to me ramble on for about 14 minutes. Hopefully I'll speak to you tomorrow night with a Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers everybody.